Humanity's first true leap into the galactic stage came not from diplomacy or exploration but from war. It started with the Siege of Terra, a brutal, unexpected attack by the Va-Shan Dominion, a reptilian war empire that saw Earth as an easy conquest. They miscalculated. The United Nations Stellar Defense Force, UNSDF, still in its infancy, fought with sheer desperation. Orbital stations burned, cities fell under plasma bombardment, and billions died. But humanity did not surrender. Admiral Elias Rourke, a grizzled tactician with a reputation for reckless genius, led the counteroffensive. Using outdated but cleverly modified ships, human forces turned Earth into a death trap. They fought like demons, executing ambushes and suicide runs, ramming warships into Dominion carriers with nuclear payloads. The war should have lasted a week. It dragged on for 3 brutal years. In the final battle over Luna, the Dominion fleet was lured into a carefully laid minefield of self-replicating AI drones. The Martian Armada, thought lost in the war's early days, returned with stolen alien warships and ripped the Dominion fleet apart in a surprise pincer maneuver. The last Va-Shan dreadnought crashed into the Pacific, a burning symbol of humanity's refusal to be conquered. The cost was staggering. Earth's population was halved. Cities were ruins. Humanity had won, but survival alone wasn't enough. Never again would they allow themselves to be vulnerable. In the shattered remnants of the United Nations, a new power emerged, the Terran Dominion. No longer just Earth's government, it declared itself the sovereign force of all humanity, with one unifying goal: expansion, dominance, and revenge. Admiral Rourke, now the Supreme Chancellor, made humanity's stance clear in his first declaration. We were underestimated once. Never again. We will take their stars, their ships, their future. We are no longer just Earth. We are the Terran Dominion. And so, the seeds of empire were sown. The Terran Dominion did not hesitate. Their war with the Va-Shan Dominion had turned Earth into a planet of survivors, engineers, and warriors. With a fanatical drive, humanity rebuilt, not just to recover, but to conquer. The newly formed Terran Armada was forged from salvaged Dominion wrecks and hybrid human-alien technology. Scientists reverse-engineered gravitic drives, plasma weaponry, and advanced AI, merging them with human ingenuity. Within a decade, Earth had become an industrial powerhouse, churning out warships, planetary siege engines, and armies bred for galactic expansion. But the Terran Dominion did not strike the Va-Shan homeworld immediately. Supreme Chancellor Elias Rourke was no fool. He understood that humanity needed a foundation, a power base beyond Earth and Mars. And so, the first target of conquest was chosen, the Drakari Compact, a minor but well-developed trading coalition of insectoid species, known for their vast resource-rich worlds and cutthroat economic empire. The Drakari underestimated humanity. They saw them as a war-torn species desperate for trade, not as conquerors. They realized their mistake when the 1st Terran Legion landed on Tarsus 9, a heavily fortified Drakari industrial world. Led by General Alex Mercer, human soldiers deployed shock-and-awe tactics unlike anything the Compact had seen before. Orbital drop pods rained from the sky, delivering cybernetically augmented super-soldiers into the heart of enemy defenses. EMP blasts, drone swarms, and adaptive battlefield AI crushed the Drakari forces within days. Their once mighty strongholds fell one by one, as Dominion fleets disabled planetary defenses with terrifying precision. The Drakari Compact surrendered within 6 months, offering their fleets and resources to humanity in exchange for survival. Rourke did not wipe them out, he absorbed them. The Drakari became the first subject race of the Dominion, their industry now fueling humanity's war machine. But the galaxy was watching. The old empires, the Galactic Council, the Dominion remnants, the silent watchers in the void, saw what humanity had done. A primitive world had turned itself into an empire of steel and fire. And they were afraid. Humanity had bled for its survival. Now, it would make the stars bleed in return. The fall of the Drakari Compact sent shockwaves across the galaxy. What was once seen as a desperate, post-war civilization had now become an imperial force, expanding with terrifying speed. The Terran Dominion did not waste time celebrating. Using Drakari labor and resources, industrial megafactories were built across conquered worlds, turning them into shipyards and war foundries. Human engineers, driven by the survivalist paranoia from the siege of Terra, pushed military technology to its limits. The Dominion fleet grew 20-fold in a decade, boasting dreadnoughts with adaptive AI, planetary siege weapons, and cybernetically enhanced marines. But Chancellor Elias Rourke knew that conquest required more than brute force. A true empire needed infrastructure, control, and a purpose beyond revenge. He established the Imperial Doctrine, a system of rule where conquered species could serve the Dominion in exchange for survival, **** as workers, soldiers, or vassal rulers under strict Terran oversight ****. Those who resisted? They were erased. The next step in expansion targeted the Valerii Union, a coalition of aristocratic avian species. Wealthy and influential, they had been secretly supplying the remnants of the Va Shan Dominion with resources. Rourke declared them enemies of humanity. The Valerii War was swift and brutal. Unlike the Drakari, the Valerii had an advanced navy, with cloaking technology and precision strike fleets. They were used to fighting honor duels and ceremonial warfare, not total annihilation. The Dominion fought with cold efficiency. AI-driven warships predicted enemy movements, while Terran shock troopers used neural-linked combat suits that turned them into unstoppable killing machines. Entire fleets were hunted and shattered, and planetary governors were executed on live broadcasts as a warning. In less than 2 years, the Valerii Union was no more. Their noble families were dismantled, their wealth seized, and their homeworlds brought under Dominion control. Humanity had annexed one of the richest civilizations in the sector. This victory cemented Earth's place as an emerging superpower, but it also painted a target on its back. The Galactic Council, an ancient, bureaucratic entity that had watched over the stars for millennia, could no longer ignore the Dominion. Whispers of an anti-human coalition began to spread. Old rivals set aside their feuds, seeing humanity as a greater threat than any warlord or empire before them. But Rourke knew something the rest of the galaxy did not. They feared humanity because they did not understand them. And that fear would be their undoing. The Terran Dominion's rise had been meteoric, too fast, too aggressive for the galaxy to ignore. The Galactic Council, a stagnant institution of old empires, finally acted. They declared humanity a rogue state, an existential threat to galactic stability. The Council rallied a coalition of over a dozen species, including surviving Va Shan warlords, remnants of the Valerii aristocracy, and ancient empires that had not fought a war in centuries. They called it the Unified Accord, an armada of over 10,000 warships, prepared to exterminate humanity before it was too late. But they underestimated the new Terran war machine. By the time the Accord's fleets mobilized, the Dominion had already expanded into over 50 systems, turning conquered worlds into fortresses, shipyards, and military staging grounds. Humanity had learned from history, Earth would never fight alone again Chancellor Elias Rourke stood before the Dominion's Grand War Council, his voice cold, calculated. They come to break us. They come to end us. But we are not the same desperate world they attacked before. We are the Dominion. And we will show them why humanity is feared. The Dominion did not wait for the invasion, they struck first. Using Valerii stealth technology, Terran infiltration teams sabotaged key shipyards and supply lines across the Accord's forces. Dominion cyber warfare AI shut down critical communications, spreading false intel that sowed chaos. The enemy began the war already on the defensive. Then, the Battle of Helios Rift shattered the myth of Accord superiority. A fleet of 5,000 Accord warships, a force large enough to glass entire sectors, was intercepted by a smaller, highly advanced Terran armada at Helios Rift, a key hyperspace junction. The Dominion forces, led by Fleet Admiral Catherine Vale, used a new weapon. Gravitic disruptors, stolen from alien research labs and engineered into planet-killer weaponry. Entire Accord formations were ripped apart as gravity itself turned against them. Battleships collapsed into singularities, crushed under their own weight. Starfighters were ripped from existence, while Dominion warships danced between the chaos, methodically eliminating survivors. In a single battle, half of the Accord's armada was lost. Panic spread through the coalition. Empires that had never known fear suddenly realized they were not fighting a primitive race, but an evolving predator. Some began secretly negotiating with the Dominion, realizing that siding with humanity was better than being consumed by it. The Accord's grand campaign to exterminate humanity had failed before it even began. And now, the Dominion prepared to do what no species had dared for millennia, go to war with the Galactic Council itself. The war for the galaxy had begun. The Galactic Council had stood for over 10,000 years, an unshakable pillar of power. It had weathered rebellions, exterminated rising warlords, and brokered uneasy peace between warring civilizations. Never had it faced an enemy like humanity. The Terran Dominion did not just wage war, it rewrote the very rules of galactic conflict. While the remnants of the unified Accord reeled from the slaughter at Helios Rift, the Dominion launched a multi-front invasion of the Council's core territories. No empire had ever dared such a thing, believing the Council's influence made it untouchable. Humanity disagreed. Chancellor Elias Rourke made his intentions clear in a broadcast that echoed across the stars. For too long, you have ruled with complacency, with the arrogance of those who believe history will never change. We are here to remind you, history is written by those who refuse to be ruled. The first strike campaign began with brutal precision. Sabotage teams crippled Council defensive networks, turning their own security systems against them. AI-driven warfleets bypassed conventional defenses, adapting mid-battle in ways no organic admiral could anticipate. Shock troopers deployed directly into capital cities, assassinating planetary governors before resistance could even form. The Dominion didn't just defeat enemies on the battlefield, they dismantled their civilizations from within. The Threxian Enclave, a proud warrior species, saw their warfleets hacked and turned against them. Their own dreadnoughts bombarded their homeworld, forcing their surrender within a single week. The Xipheri hegemony, a council race known for their advanced planetary shields, watched in horror as Dominion engineers overloaded their planetary reactors, plunging their worlds into eternal darkness before orbital strikes reduced their capitals to rubble. One by one, the Council's strongest member races fell, either broken in battle or forced into vassalage under the Dominion's iron rule. The galaxy had never seen a war like this. Where others conquered for control, humanity eradicated all opposition, a lesson learned from the Siege of Terra. By the time the war reached its third year, the once mighty Galactic Council was reduced to a shadow of itself. Its fleets were shattered, its worlds occupied, and its leadership fractured. Only one bastion remained, Prime Ascendancy, the Council's throne world, the heart of galactic law and order for millennia. If it fell, the old order would be erased forever. The last remaining Council species, once rulers of the stars, now found themselves in the same position humanity had been decades ago, outnumbered, outgunned, and standing at the edge of extinction. The final battle was coming. And humanity intended to end an empire that had existed before they had even reached the stars. The Galactic Council's last bastion, Prime Ascendancy, had stood for 10,000 years, a world of impenetrable defenses, unbreakable fleets, and the combined power of the oldest civilizations in the known galaxy. But the Terran Dominion was coming. The Dominion Armada, the largest fleet humanity had ever assembled, descended upon Prime Ascendancy like the wrath of an ancient god. 40,000 warships, including planetary siege dreadnoughts, advanced with terrifying precision. The Council's desperate last defenders, an alliance of battered fleets and aging superweapons, stood waiting, knowing that if they failed, the last remnants of the old galactic order would be wiped from existence. Chancellor Elias Rourke personally led the command fleet, his warship Indomitable at the vanguard. His speech was broadcast across every Dominion channel. We were once at the mercy of the stars. We bled, we burned, and we swore never again. Now, we stand at the gates of those who once ruled us, and we bring them justice. No surrender. No retreat. Today, the Dominion reigns supreme. Asterisk. Hashtag the final battle begins. The Council's Hyperfortress Grid, a planetary defense network of auto-targeting battle stations and energy shields, had never been breached. But the Dominion had planned for this. Sabotage teams, embedded months prior, overloaded planetary energy cores, causing shield failures at critical points. Gravitic disruptors, deployed in orbit, crushed enemy fleets under their own weight, turning their defensive formations into collapsing singularities. Neural-linked AI battlesuits, worn by Terran shock troopers, allowed entire units to think and react as one, making them unstoppable on the ground. The fighting was brutal. Council war golems, massive biomechanical constructs, tore through Dominion infantry, but were countered by Terran kinetic EMP rounds, reducing them to lifeless husks. The last of the Va-Shan warriors, seeking revenge for their fallen empire, launched a final charge, only to be annihilated by orbital bombardments. The Council Grand Fleet, led by Lord High Admiral Vrexiskai, threw everything they had into the battle, fighting with a desperation unseen in millennia. Their final stand lasted 16 hours, until the Indomitable unleashed the Dominion's most terrifying weapon yet, a planet-cracking rail cannon modified from old Drakari asteroid miners. With a single shot, the Council's high spire, the heart of their government, was obliterated. Hashtag the fall of the old order. With the Council's leadership dead and its last fleets shattered, Prime Ascendancy surrendered. The surviving Council races, once the galaxy's rulers, were now prisoners of the Dominion. Some would serve. Others would be erased from history. Elias Rourke stood in the ruins of the High Spire, looking out over a world that had once dictated the fate of the galaxy. The age of stagnation is over. The age of dominion begins. The war was won. But conquest was just the beginning. Because now, humanity ruled the galaxy. And ruling it, would require something far greater than war. With the fall of Prime Ascendancy, the war was over. The Galactic Council, once the unchallenged rulers of the stars, had been reduced to a memory. The last of their leaders had either sworn fealty or been executed, their homeworlds now Dominion territories. What remained of their fleets had been scattered, hunted, or absorbed into the ever-growing Terran war machine. For the first time in history, humanity ruled the galaxy. But ruling was far harder than conquering. The challenge of empire. Chancellor Elias Rourke stood on the bridge of the Indomitable, gazing at the galactic map. The Dominion now stretched across thousands of systems, encompassing hundreds of species, some loyal, others simmering with rebellion. The war had created an empire built on fire and steel. But fire alone could not hold it together. The first challenge came swiftly: insurrection. Former Council loyalists waged shadow wars on occupied worlds. The Va-Shan remnants, refusing to bow, launched suicide strikes on Dominion supply lines. Even within humanity's own ranks, political factions arose, some seeking peace, others demanding further expansion. Rourke knew that brute force alone wouldn't be enough. Empires that ruled only by the sword were doomed to fall. He needed something more. Something permanent. Forging the Galactic Dynasty. Thus was born the Imperial Doctrine, the foundation of a new order, one that would secure humanity's dominion for generations. 1. The Dominion throne, no longer just a military state, the Dominion became an imperial dynasty, with Rourke declaring himself emperor. A succession system was established, ensuring that the Dominion would endure beyond any single ruler. 2. The High Conclave, a ruling council of loyal species, carefully chosen from conquered worlds. They would govern under Terran oversight, ensuring order without constant war. 3. The Legionary Oath, a new generation of warriors was forged, not just human, but elite soldiers from all species under Dominion rule. Their loyalty was to the throne, not their former empires. For, the Eternal Expansion Edict, the Dominion would never stagnate as the Council had. Innovation, exploration, and continued military readiness would be the pillars of its strength. No alien threat would ever catch humanity unprepared again. The strategy worked. Former enemies became vassals, their loyalty ensured through both fear and opportunity. The Dominion fleet became the largest armada in history, ensuring no rebellion could ever succeed. AI-enhanced governance ensured stability across even the most distant colonies. #### A new era begins. A decade after the fall of Prime Ascendancy, the Dominion stood unchallenged. Trade flourished, technology advanced at an unprecedented rate, and new frontiers beyond the known galaxy became the next great ambition. In a grand ceremony on New Terra, the newly built imperial capital, Elias Rourke stood before billions, his voice carried across every world in the Dominion. Once, humanity was at the mercy of the stars. Now, the stars kneel before us. We are the rulers of this galaxy. We are its future. And we will never be forgotten. The crowds roared. The Terran Dominion had become something far greater than a conquering force. It had become a legacy. A galactic dynasty that would stand for millennia, And somewhere, beyond the edges of explored space, something watched. Something ancient. Something waiting, Humanity had risen. But the stars still held secrets yet to be conquered. The Dominion was just getting started.